my name is John Benjamin, and welcome to our webinar series, A Guide to Entrepreneurship. Thank you for joining us in the month of July, where we will provide a crash course on how to be an entrepreneur and start a successful business. For more information regarding upcoming events and webinars, join our subscription list or go to our website, shapeyourfuture.us. So without further ado, today we will be talking to dentist Akila Suka. Thanks for joining us, Akila.
Hi, I'm Dr. Akila Suka.
Yeah, doctor.
I own a dental practice in Oakdale. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's get started. The first question we'd like to know is, how does someone start a business? Give us a brief overview of like the logistics and what it took for you to really get this business going.
Okay, so for me, it was a little bit different. This was already an established practice that I sort of just bought over. So it wasn't like I built the business from scratch. It was an existing dentist that's retiring. He's now retired. So everything was already in the practice and it was an established practice basically. So in terms of like, I don't know if you know much about dental equipment and stuff, but like the chairs and everything were already in the practice, as well as all of the instruments, equipment, material. So I sort of just took over from his whole existing practice and his existing client base as well, which was very convenient. So it was a bit of an unconventional start to a business, but a lot of, if you are buying over practice from an existing or old dentist, and this is not necessarily only dental, maybe like medical as a generalization rule, that doesn't make sense, but like as a general rule, that's just how it generally works.
Okay, then do you want to tell us maybe a little bit about the buying over process? Do you know that, like, how does that work?
So it was very straightforward. It was a bit of an easier process than what I initially expected. So initially, I came to view the practice without the intention of sort of buying it, just with the intention of having a look around, seeing if it was something I would be interested in. Then we kept in contact with the dentist because it was initially going to be me, myself, and a friend. That fell through and I just ended up buying into it on my own. But what happened was he asked us to put in an offer. He gave us a list of basically all of the assets in the practice and how much he estimated it to be. Then I had someone come in and then do like a breakdown of the current price of what the assets are valued at. And then we went according to that price and then put an offer in according to that price. Then we put that offer in, and then within a week or so, the current dentist whose practice I bought over contacted us and he was like, okay, come in for a meeting and we can just discuss some things. So we came in and it was very straightforward. He was just like, when do you want to start? So I was like, okay, cool. And then we drew up a contract. Both parties signed the contract. And then it was just like the transfer of like all of the money, etc.
No, it is easier than I thought. I thought it was going to be
a straightforward process.
Yeah. Okay, so
I genuinely thought it was going to be a complicated process.
Well, at least it was easy, because I mean, if it was complicated, maybe wouldn't be sitting here today. We don't know. So are there?
Yeah, true.
Oh, okay. Are there certain qualities that you think one needs to be an entrepreneur or start their own business?
That's a bit difficult because initially I would never have thought that I would be in this position today. I always tell people I'm never ever opening a practice in my life. So if I have to think about it, you need to be driven. Like you need to know that this is something that you want to do. You can't just go into it thinking, oh, it's okay, it's like a business. I'm just going to go to work, do this, do that, and then go home. like work basically doesn't stop once working hours are over. It continues when you're at home. It continues on the weekend. So you'll definitely need to be driven. Then, then your ambition, you'll need, basically it ties in. Uh, and I mean, I would say you need to have a passion for what you're doing as well, because you, once again, can't just think of it as just a business. You're investing so much time and so much money into this that there needs to be passion that sort of acts as a driving force as well. Um, Obviously, general like leadership, because you're going to be responsible now for other people. Um, what other words? Like diligence, basically. I think diligence sums it up quite well. Yeah, that's just like a general overview. This is aside from, yeah, like your general personality traits, just like being an open person, welcoming, like empathy, compassion. But that might be a little bit more specific to being like a healthcare professional, because we treat patients very, very closely, like it's a bit of a personal experience looking into someone's mouth. So yeah.
So, what would you say is the key driving force that drove you to becoming an entrepreneur and starting your own business instead of just working for a dental practice?
Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. If you basically don't own a practice, or you're not an associate dentist at the practice, you are basically locoming. So you work for someone else for certain hours a week. So in my case, I was working morning shifts basically at one practice, and then every second Saturday at another practice. So you're working a little bit everywhere, all over the place. And I really didn't like it, to say the least. It wasn't, I didn't feel driven. I didn't feel like there was any growth in the places that I was working for. I sort of felt like I was stuck. So there was nothing that was like getting me excited about being a dentist. Yeah. So I was coming home every day, just even though I worked half day, feeling so tired, because like I used to be drained, just more emotionally and mentally drained than physically drained. Because I mean, it's half day, it's the hours you'd expect me to be like full of energy. So my initial job, I was not very happy about. And then I wanted something where, like I said, I would be able to grow, I would be able to expand myself as a dentist, and then, yeah, just work from there. Yeah, so I wasn't very happy where I was initially. And then when this opportunity came around, it was sort of like, it would have been very dumb to pass over. And then there was a lot of factors leading up to me actually wanting to buy into the practice, other than me being unhappy at my previous job. But I don't know, sometimes when you know, I know it's a very vague answer. But yeah, honestly, I have no idea what else to tell you, other than the fact that because the process also seemed so easy, it felt like if I was saying no, I wouldn't get this opportunity again. It would probably have been me at like 10, 15 years down the line, starting like a practice from scratch. Also the fact that when we initially viewed the place, he was willing to sell everything in it as a whole. So it wasn't like we were just
in the property,
the area and his client base. Yeah, it was basically everything. So he left all of the equipment, all of the existing materials, all of the instruments, everything. So it seemed like a sort of a natural progression to where I was supposed to be. And it was also of like an amazing opportunity to grow as not only a dentist, but I mean, as an overall person, because there's so much more that you learn owning a business as opposed to just working, if you get what I'm saying. Because there's so much that you have to think about that I also initially wasn't aware of. Because I mean, I studied dentistry for 5 years, not business, and they don't teach you anything about owning and opening a practice on your own. So you know nothing about like business management. It's sort of trial and error as you go along, which is obviously it only builds you as a person. So you only learn from it basically.
No, I definitely understand. And like when you were saying, when you know, it's like you just have to go with that gut feeling. You just have to take that chance. Sometimes you just have to take the chance and hope for the best.
Sometimes your instinct. Yes, no, definitely. Your instinct, you know.
So, what tips or advice would you give to other people wanting to start their own business?
It's a lot of admin. So you'll need to be patient because will have to be doing a lot of paperwork, much more than you anticipate. Also, as much as you tell yourself, okay, I know it's going to be difficult and I'm going to have to work hard, you'll never really realize how hard you're going to have to work or how difficult it is going to be until you're in that situation. So don't go into it if you are someone who isn't sort of driven. So like going back to having that drive, that ambition. Don't go into it if you know that no, I won't be able to commit to this in the long run or even in the upcoming 6 months, because you never know how long you're gonna have to basically sacrifice all of your time until your business picks up, until you are able to make enough profit where you can just like relax a little bit. Yeah, so also other than like admin, you will need to sacrifice a lot of your own free time, a lot of like basically going out. You won't be having time for yourself. Let's just put it that way. Currently, I work 6 days a week and then every week. So even on Sundays, when the practice is closed, it's still sort of work. So you're going to be working even in your free time, basically. So you'll need to be able to be willing to sacrifice that as well as money. So you won't be having a lot of not free money, but you won't be having a steady income, which is very different to obviously working for someone else, for a company, because you don't know how much money you're going to be making each month. So you don't know how much you will be able to pay yourself, basically, because at the end of the day, you are also an employee of your own company. So make sure your debit orders aren't a lot, because every month you don't know how much money is coming to your account. And then what else? Otherwise, sacrificing time. Yeah, the main is just sacrificing time.
A lot of sacrifices.
Being willing to give up a lot of your stuff. Yeah, it's a lot of sacrifice that I didn't realize initially. And this is just me speaking from experience. It's also like, yeah, it can be very draining, but also it's very rewarding at the end of the day. And then make sure that if we're coming back to admin, make sure that all of your ducks are in a row and that you keep records of everything. Also, make sure that when you, like if it's a small company, if it's a big company, that the people that you employ, you know, are going to be working with you to become successful, to achieve that end goal, basically. Because at the end of the day, you also are only as strong as your weakest link. So when employing people, you need to make sure that it's people that you trust and people that you know want to help you achieve your goal. Yeah, that's it. That's all I can think of at this moment.
Well, that's a nice tip, especially the last one about, having people to trust, because it's not that easy to just let anybody into your business nowadays.
Oh, no,
Okay.
definitely. And I mean, if you're spending so much time and you're investing so much of your time and effort into this business, at least there's someone with you along the way. It's just one person.
Yeah, definitely. Someone to ride the wave with you.
Yeah, basically.
So what were some of the challenges that you had to overcome on this journey of becoming an entrepreneur? Not even just like starting the business, just like your journey, you know, your personal journey, your work journey, entrepreneurship journey.
So, I mean, I feel like a lot of these, I'm going to be repeating myself in a lot of these
No, it's
answers.
fine.
But challenges, if we like just basically started time, sacrificing time, I basically work home every day. There's not a lot of time to see like friends. You sort of, the free time that you do have, you kind of just want to like relax. Maybe it's
Like
just
your mother.
but you do want some downtime just to, yeah, to like unwind, just to think of nothing, even if you're just lying in bed doing nothing. I mean, other than your time, something else I had to sort of sacrifice was like money. If you sacrifice like your own salary, because now you have to worry about your money going to other people before yourself. So for example, like all your expenses, basically, like I have to pay rent, and your employees, you have to pay them before you even think of getting money for yourself.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to give us that wonderful, wonderful advice. And I hope that you have a wonderful rest of the day.
Thank you. Thank you so much for listening to me ramble. Come visit Suka Dental Studio for all your dental needs, you know. You can search us on Instagram, we're on Facebook, even just Google us and it will pop up.
Well, I
Thank you so
definitely
much.
will. Well, definitely will. And I will even leave a good review. And hopefully the people on YouTube also come
Thanks, man.
and give it a good review.